Okay, so something is happening at OpenAI. I mean, really happening. In 2024, we saw this wave of really high profile people leaving. We're talking its co founder, its head of safety, key researchers, just gone. And, these aren't just people changing jobs for a better salary. This is a pattern. It feels like a series of carefully worded warnings from the people who know the most. So let's piece together the clues and see if we can uncover the story that OpenAI isn't telling us. And boom, right there, that's the heart of it. This quote is from Jan Leik. This is the guy whose entire job, his entire reason for being at OpenAI, was to make sure advanced AI stays safe for humanity. He didn't just quietly resign, he went public, saying that the critical foundational work of safety was being pushed aside for, in his words, shiny products. I mean, coming from the man in charge of preventing an AI catastrophe, that is an incredibly alarming thing to hear. So, yeah, let's be clear. This is not just normal corporate turnover. We really have to look at this exodus for what it is: a series of flashing red lights, a set of alarms being pulled by the very people inside the lab who were closest to the technology and its potential dangers. And we're not talking about junior engineers here. We are talking about Ilya Sutskever, a co-founder and the chief scientist of OpenAI. He left to start his own company focused only on AI safety. Then, of course, Jan Leik, who ran the super alignment team. And with them, a whole wave of other senior researchers. These are insiders, people with huge amounts of equity, all walking away and basically sounding the alarm on their way out the door. So that begs the question, right? Why would they all leave right now? What did they see inside those walls? Well, the answer seems to lie in three foundational breakthroughs that have been quietly achieved, and they're setting the stage for what comes next. And when you put them together, well, they change everything. Okay, so here are the three big leaps forward: predictive scaling, process-based reasoning, and AI-driven training. Now, on their own, each one of these is a major advance. But together they create this explosive combination that really explains both the company's incredible speed and the safety team's deep-seated fear. Let's break down each one. First up, we've got predictive scaling. In the past, building a new AI model was kind of like guesswork. You'd throw a bunch of data and a ton of computing power at it and just hope for the best. Not anymore. OpenAI now has mathematical formulas that can predict with scary accuracy just how capable a model is going to be before they even finish building it. This isn't wishful thinking. It's pure engineering. They can literally see the capability curve stretching out into the future. So the second breakthrough is what's called process-based reasoning. The old way, right, was just brute force. If you want a smarter AI, you have to build a bigger model. But the new insight is way more clever. It's actually more effective to give a model more time to think. So by dedicating more compute power at the moment the AI is solving a problem, what's called inference, you get much better results from the same model. It's like giving a really smart student more time for a hard test. And the crazy part is, there's no obvious ceiling to how much this can improve performance. And the third leap, well, this one might be the most powerful of all: AI-driven training. We figured out how to use our current AI models to help train the next generation of models. The student becomes smarter than the teacher, and then that new smarter student trains an even smarter one after that. What you get is a feedback loop. And once a feedback loop like that starts, it doesn't just grow, it accelerates, and it accelerates fast. So what happens when you combine these three breakthroughs? When you can engineer capabilities, give models more time to think, and have them teach their successors? You don't just get a better chatbot. You get something else, something fundamentally different. And this, right here, is the big reveal. GPT-5 isn't just a single model. It's an autonomous system. Think of it this way. GPT-4, that's like a really, really smart generalist. One expert who's good at a ton of different things. But this GPT-5 system, that's not a person. That's an entire company. You've got a CEO model that takes a complex goal, breaks it down, and then delegates tasks to a bunch of specialized employee models. One for coding, one for research, one for creative writing, and they all collaborate to get the job done. And this, right here, this is the crucial leap. This is almost certainly the thing that made the safety team quit. We are no longer talking about a tool that just answers a single question you type in. No. You can give this system a high-level goal, and it can work on it for hours or maybe even days, completely on its own, without any human intervention. It will do the research, write the code, check its own work, and keep iterating until that task is complete. Okay, so now it all starts to click, right?
Now we can circle back and finally understand the exodus. Because when you're building a system with that level of autonomy, the safety challenges just become exponentially harder. This is the core tension that seems to have just fractured the entire company.
This table really just nails the problem. A chatbot like GPT-4 is reactive. You ask a question, it gives an answer. You are in control. But an autonomous agent, that's proactive. You give it a goal, and it pursues that goal on its own. And all of a sudden, the question of who's in control becomes much, much murkier. So you start to realize the kind of terrifying questions the safety team was staring at every single day. How do you make sure it's pursuing the goal you actually intended? How do you stop a system that operates on its own for days at a time if it starts going off the rails? How can you possibly evaluate its safety when its plans are basically hidden inside a black box? The resignations, they suggest a really chilling conclusion. The internal pressure to ship the product was moving way faster than their ability to find the answers to these critical questions. So what does this all mean for us, for you, for our jobs, our businesses, our entire society? The impact of this shift from a simple AI tool to a full-blown autonomous agent is going to be absolutely profound. To put it bluntly, the AI that you're using right now, it's a toy. GPT-4, Claude, Gemini, they will all look like a simple calculator compared to what these autonomous agent systems are going to be capable of. No, really, the jump is going to be that big. And the economic side of this is just staggering. We're shifting from paying for an AI tool to hiring an AI employee, an employee that can research an entire market, build a business strategy, and then draft an implementation plan for you, an employee that never sleeps and might cost something like $200 a month. Just let that sink in for a second. And look, don't think this is science fiction. This isn't some far-off future we're talking about. The people tracking this closely suggest these capabilities are coming in 2025. Now, it might not be branded GPT-5, it might get rolled out as new agent features or some kind of autonomous mode inside their products, but the capability is coming, and it is coming soon. What this all really comes down to is that the decisions being made inside these AI labs right now are going to define the next century. The departures from OpenAI, that's not just corporate drama. It was a flare sent up by the people who saw this future up close and felt they had no choice but to walk away. This technology is being built largely in secret. So the question isn't just if it's coming. It's, are any of us really paying attention?